of domination can have the tendency to give the sense that domination is easily totalizable. I want to say not so fast. I want to say this because I think the body says this. It says not so fast. There is a surplus. There is an excess of the body's agency that refuses any project of total domestication. And I really think that we will have a much more nuanced and enriched understanding of politics if we pay attention to that. First of all, I think it's important to understand, as I was saying a little while ago, to go against the dominant narratives about, the compliant, obedient masses. I think that is really a pernicious, problematic narrative that arises out of pessimism and desperation. And I'm not contesting that there was reason for that. I don't doubt that there was reason for that. At the same time, it is really an unfair characterization of ordinary people and how they behave, how they comport themselves vis-a-vis structures of power. And so I really think that looking at bodily agency allows us to challenge that narrative of total domination by recognizing the eruptions that take place, but which are not always visible politically. They're kind of in the sub-political realm. And only in certain occasions, like in the cases of Bouazizi and a few others, did they become visible and public and global. But that doesn't mean they don't happen. That doesn't mean they're there. And that doesn't mean that they are not subversive. So that's number one. Number two is to really be attentive to the disruptions of the body, the disruptions caused by the body, and the forfeiture of the self as responses to crisis situations, to not just see that, but then see what triggers it, what it is responding to, what it is developing in response to. So the point is not just to say, there is bodily agency, great, but to say, like, what prompts this bodily agency? And to then begin to dig into the conditions of exploitation and oppression that have led people to enact these forms of bodily agency. So to understand where they're coming from, to understand what they're responding to as crisis situations, and to look then at our world, at the operation of global capitalism, at projects of neocolonialism, at projects of imperial domination, as of expressions of this fantasy of total domination, and find the points of friction where it fails, where it meets a kind of refusal from different kinds of people all the time. So I think, and to find that as a new point of commonality, a new form of universal solidarity, and to build out from that. So that's the broader political intention of the project. And in a sense, even though it is dealing with extremely dark and disheartening phenomena, the hope is really something bigger and broader, which is to reimagine, to rethink solidarity, starting out from that corporeal register, and to maintain a kind of hope in the possibility of human dignity expressing itself, even if that expression comes in extremely bleak and disheartening forms, such as existential refusals.